instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Other Dangerous Podcast, where we talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks.
And if it can't haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. And tonight, we are coming to you with Haunted Hollywood. Spooky stuff, gang. So before we get into our cornucopia of stories, we're going to send it over to Jay for tonight's jump scare.
Thanks, Ken. This comes to us from listener Allie, who does not say where she's from, but I enjoy the story. Allie says, when I was 3, my parents moved us into a new neighborhood. The house was nice, but kind of old. The neighborhood was an old 50s tract home area, so it had a pretty varied group of people living there. As soon as we moved in, my dad started noticing weird things with me. He would hear me giggling and laughing in my room, and whenever he went in and asked what was so funny, I would tell him that the kids were being funny. He would also come in to wake me up and find me curled up in the closet.
Yeah.
This happened over and over again, but my parents didn't think much of it because I was a pretty imaginative kid. The thing that wigged them out the most was that I flat out refused to walk around the front door. I would scream and yell and cry until one of my parents carried me in and out of the house. When you walked in the front door, to the right, there was a closet. And to the left, there was a low brick wall that separated the front door from the living room. It was about 4 feet high and about 3 feet long, just a room divider. But I never touched it or wanted to be near it. After we had lived there for a few months, my dad started making some renovations to the house. Among them was demolishing the wall. My parents dropped my brother and I off with our grandparents the day they were going to do it, so that we wouldn't be underfoot. We didn't end up going home for a week. When my dad knocked down the wall, he called the police. No. Inside the brick wall were bones that turned out to be from children. The cops never did figure out who put them there. The house had been owned by a lot of people, many of them who had rented it out. So it's just one of the many weird things that happened in my town that was never figured out.
Yeah, one of the little weird things.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And that's it. Thanks, guys. Love the show. Allie.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So Allie was hanging out with dead kids.
Dead kids. Bones of dead kids. So, yeah, that little low wall was basically like that, Mr. Bones candy. Like, if they were just thrown in there.
Yeah. Still never got a complete set. Motherfucker.
But she probably did.
Yeah, she had a couple complete sets. Oh, nice. Good stuff, Allie.
Yeah, thank you.
Those kids, old women, we specialize in that here at Other Dangerous Podcast.
We definitely do. It's and that brick wall, stone brick. I mean, I know they're not the same thing, but
yeah,
it seems to kind of fit.
Yes, it does. And then, of course, renovating always stirs up the old spooky juices,
Indeed.
So, all right, on to Haunted Hollywood. There are a lot of good ones, gang. We picked some of our personal favorites. I guess I will be the one starting us off here, or do we have any preamble?
Well, the little preamble, I found 2 things about all the haunted things in Hollywood. Either it's a haunted hotel, or Marilyn Monroe's ghost had been sighted there, or both. So pretty much every one of my entries this evening will be either a haunted hotel, or will involve Marilyn Monroe.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
She got around.
Yeah, she did, dog. Yeah. I think Marilyn Monroe is like almost like a stain on our nation in a way. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
know?
the Kennedys, threw her away like yesterday's news. It's terrible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Joe DiMaggio was just like, oh,
Well, he got, he was the guy she should have stayed with.
yeah, it's true.
She went after that Jack Kennedy.
Yeah, he was like,
Skrilla.
Yeah. I like when that dress goes up. It's good. Kennedy, man.
I don't know if I could do any Kennedy impressions.
Yeah. I don't even know if that was a good one I just did there. Who knows? But all right, guys. So first, I'm going to get into it's the Hollywood sign and the surrounding Griffith Park, basically where it is. One of the more weird stories, besides the classic one we're going to get into here. Did you ever hear about them finding the body parts there, man?
Is this recent?
It's more recent, yeah. It's not like a classic one.
Yes.
What the fuck? They found like a hand and then like a torso.
Yeah. I have heard about this, and the speculation is that it's from like mountain lions killing joggers and stuff.
Oh man. Okay.
Is,
that's better than the alternative, I guess.
All right, hold on. It was the ghost of a mountain lion killing joggers. How about that?
I like that.
Okay.
That's good. That's really good. All right, guys, but the famous Hollywood sign in Griffith Park at the eastern edge of Hollywood Hills is said to be haunted by the ghost of a struggling young actress, Peg how do you say it? Entwistle?
Entwistle.
Yeah, Peg Entwistle, who committed suicide by leaping to her death from the top of the H in 1932, just before the release of 13 Women, which marked her only film role. So how about that shit? Like you're struggling, you're in the Hollywood grind,
Mm-hmm.
trying to make a name for yourself, and you're like, this isn't going anywhere. You're, full of depression.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, like the dream comes true, and you didn't even get to live to see it.
Yeah, the next day, apparently, she got the letter that said that she had the role.
Yeah, fuck, man. But nighttime visitors to Griffith Park sometimes say they see visions of a woman in 1930s era clothing roaming the trails around the sign, or plummeting from the top, or only to vanish before reaching the ground. Like, that would be a sight, man. Like, that's one of those like sightings of a ghost that, like, I hate to say it, like, those are one of the ones that I want to see. In like the baddest way, because it's just like, whoa, like, oh my god.
You run out backwards like the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. Whew. But
do you think her ghost is scaring the shit out of all those mountain lions?
Probably. That's what's probably leading them to eat the people. They probably see it. They're like, what the fuck? They just, no way.
Exactly. Hanging out with the buddies. I can't have this shit.
Yeah. Not today, motherfucker. And then they just go wild. But Griffith Park, it's really haunted. It's dating back supposedly to the 19th century, when the owner, Don Antonio Feliz, left the land to one Don Antonio Cornell instead of his niece, Donna Petronilla Feliz. It said that industrialized and eventual owner Griffith J. Griffith donated the property to the city to rid himself of the tainted land. The land is supposedly haunted by Mr. Feliz himself, his niece, and Griffith, who owned the park, and a young girl, and several others. And there's even mention of some humanoid beasts. So there's your mountain lion, mixed with a person, a were mountain lion.
Wow, I think we cracked it wide open.
Yeah, boom, we got it.
Yeah. She jumped off the sign into the awaiting jaws of a were mountain lion.
Yeah. Which in turn killed it. And then, now it's haunting the Griffith Park. You can get really deep into the story of these people, but I mean, in reality, it goes back to that classic, wealthy landowner kind of deal, and doing all kinds of dirt. And but the peg one, man, that's still to this day, anyone that really has a ghost story usually goes back to that. You see the visage of the fading woman,
right,
just disappearing down the trail. And, well, you're not even supposed to be in there, so like if you're breaking
no, you can't.
Yeah, and if you like, a lot of these sightings are from people who saw something, which kind of lends a little credibility to say like, oh yeah, I snuck in there, I saw this. And it's like, all right, well, you're opening yourself to all kinds of litigation and trouble there, but
and mountain lions
and were mountain lion ghosts. but it's one of those places that it's been heavily talked about, and what an icon, what an icon of our country, and just the turn of entertainment in this country. It's one of those romantic things that I think is one of the best stories in our country is the Hollywood sign and the hauntings around it.
Yeah, it has the glitz and the glamour, but also the
the tragedy that
tragedy right behind it,
which becomes super romantic. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my first entry is the El Capitan Theater. The El Capitan Theater on Hollywood Boulevard opened in 1926 and is known for it was one of these 1920s grand Hollywood theaters, right?
Yeah.
I think that was exactly the song they played. And it hosted the premiere of Citizen Kane in 1941. Afterwards, the Depression happened, all this kind of stuff. That was after. But most notably, it was restored by the Walt Disney Company in 1989, and now hosts these crazy premieres of all the Disney films, and includes this wacky store where you can get candy and shit and whatever. The kids have a great time.
Yeah.
But little do they know, there's a dark side to the theater. The theater is said to be visited by apparitions in the break room.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's a break room now, but ghosts here are believed to include a former manager, a projectionist, and a patron who committed suicide on one of the balconies. Right? When Disney revived the El Capitan, legend has it they walled off this window above the entryway because there were reports that from the street people could see the ghost of this suicide victim in the window from the street. So Disney was aware of the ghost. Walt Disney. No, 1989. His ghost coordinated with the ghost at this theater, and they're like, "Look, I can't have two ghosts. I'm the only ghost." No. So, but yeah, no, they walled off this window because it was like a sight to see. People were like, "Oh no, man!" There's people would say they're like, there is a ghost that people see from this window, and Disney was like, "Nope, not for us. We're the happiest place on earth." Yeah. And also, which will be the trend, Marilyn Monroe has also been sighted in the balcony seats.
She would.
Yep, that's what I got for El Capitan. What do you got next, Capitan?
Put an L in front of that. No, I'm going to go with a little iconic character here of Rudolph Valentino. Yeah. Hollywood's most active ghost would have to be Rudolph Valentino, the silent film legend who died in 1926 at the age of 31. He had surgery complications, took him out. But even though he was a bona fide superstar in his short lifetime, he became a legend after his untimely death, and it's estimated that far more people have seen his ghost than saw his movies, which is a cool little but his spectral presence is one of the most commonly cited Hollywood apparitions and has been reported in more than a dozen locations. Before they were demolished, both his former LA homes were common places for Valentino's ghost spotting. He continues to make appearances in the costume department of Paramount Pictures, which is across the street from the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, where his body is laid to rest. In LA, hotels, like we were saying, hotels and farther up the coast where the Italian-born actor liked to go and relax. So he was a heartthrob of the silent film days, like 1921. He was in movies like The Sheik, Son of the Sheik, and he died in at the age of 31, August 23, 1926. So this dude, he's pulling a Marilyn Monroe on us right now. He's you can see him forever, and he has a crypt in the Forever Cemetery, which just it adds to that that mystique of it. Anyone that's here's his crypt, oh man. But I think that it's pretty iconic and cool because some of the reportings of Paramount, like he's wearing his outfits from the movie, and standing there regal and you know, oh man, another one that would just be amazing to see. You know, you're just like,
Yeah, no. And did you come
Philadelphia.
across the name of his house?
I don't, Falcon Lair.
Falcon Lair.
Falcon Lair, yeah.
It's still there to this day. It's up in, I think it's up in Laurel Canyon.
Okay.
It's just like, of course, that's the name of his house. I mean, he was literally like the first heartthrob. Like this
Yeah.
guy was. I mean, there's even a joke about him in Beetlejuice. You know, I'm the most. He says I'm the most eligible bachelor since Valentino came over.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah,
this guy was everywhere.
yeah, and the one of the more famous people that have claimed to have seen his ghost is Harry Carey. He claimed, he claimed to have, when he actually bought the mansion, he bought Falcon Lair,
Yeah.
and he was one of the people that was like, no, this motherfucker's hanging out, like he's still around doing his thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's. I think that's, you know, in the short list of, like, you know, Hollywood ghosts, like the top. It's like those are you get Marilyn Monroe and Rudolph Valentino. It's always those two, and it's like, you know, they died young, so that's what, you know, they always get that, like, you know, legendary treatment, you know.
Yeah, yep, and another thing, a little add on too, is the Knickerbocker Hotel in Hollywood. Yeah, he's that's one of those spots where apparently you're going to see that guy at a good amount.
Like, they guarantee it. You go there, like, oh, do you want to see? All right, it's an extra $10. You'll get seen.
they open the break room door and they're like, on a break
there
room?
he is. He's like, come on, man, don't I get a break? They're like, just shh.
Yeah.
Appear and disappear.
And he's like, ooh. Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
I got to show up at shopping malls and sign autographs, and my life just becomes a living hell.
Beetlejuice reference. Yes.
It's 2 in 1 story.
Yep.
All right. So next on my list is my first hotel. We've got the Roosevelt Hotel. Super famous. It was opened in 1927 and is the oldest continually operating hotel in Los Angeles. Guests at the Roosevelt Hotel are entertained by a plethora of paranormal activity from the hotel's past. Children playing in the hallways, a pianist wearing a white suit and very old shoes, which is like this detail that people bring up all the time, that his shoes are very old. Kind of crazy.
Ghost quirks. You get them ghost
right.
quirks sometimes.
Yeah, but that's, hey, I like that because it's like, you know, it carries over.
Yeah.
Guests swimming in the pool after hours, but, you know, they're not alive. Marilyn Monroe stayed at the Roosevelt so often that she purchased this full-length antique mirror for her favorite suite above the pool. And after her death in 1962, the hotel stored it away. And then, like, decades later, during like this major remodel, employees like rediscovered it in the basement. And like the history was like long forgotten. People didn't know about it. And they hung it in the lower lobby. They were just like, oh, look, a nice mirror.
Cool mirror.
Cool mirror. But then years and years of reports start of Monroe's image being seen regularly, applying lipstick, fixing her hair, like something she must have done like a million times in front of that mirror.
And banging
then,
dudes. Yeah.
I don't know if she's been seen banging dudes, quote unquote, in the mirror, but I'm sure it's possible.
Yeah.
But after all these sightings, they went back and they were like, oh, this is this. And they like kind of rediscovered the history of this mirror. Like, this is Marilyn Monroe's mirror. And it was almost like she was appearing to let people know this was my mirror. So it's still there to this day, from what I understand. And you can go see her famous mirror.
Trigger objects, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's super interesting. And then also a little bit of an obscure guy, but he was famous back in the day. 4-time Oscar nominee Montgomery Clift is also a ghostly resident. He sticks close to room 928, his home for several months in 1952 while filming From Here to Eternity. People come from all around the world to stay in it, and on the chance that, you know, his spirit will make his presence known. Past residents report the actor's spirited behavior, including ringing the phone incessantly, blaring the radio, turning the heat to over 100 degrees, and practicing the bugle for the eternity roll loudly, because that's what he was staying there for. He would like, practice the bugle. And he's even shoved a few unsuspecting guests while they were asleep.
He sounds like a nightmare ghost, you know? Like,
he kind of is. And you know what? I think it's because people are like, I'm the ghost of Montgomery Clift. And they're like, who? He's like, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like,
I was huge back in the day.
Enjoy the swamp ass, motherfuckers. He turns
Yes, exactly. He's it's like, dude, I don't know who you are. It's like the only people who drank like bathtub gin know who you are.
Nice.
I don't know.
Made sense to me, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a
But
bathtub gin drinker.
I don't know.
Good stuff.
That's what I got for the old Roosevelt Hotel.
Yeah, I also wanted to say a couple honorable mentions before we continue to go on. You know, there's so many. We've already got into the Queen Mary. We got into the Comedy Store. So so these
they need their own episodes though.
Yeah. So these two, we don't want to say they're not in here. I had to mention them here, but we already did them. If you're a new listener, go back. Yeah, find them. We did cover them pretty good.
The Comedy Store episode, I think, was that we that was a deep dive. Yeah, it had to be a full episode.
Yeah, man. Some of the stories from there, and the cloaks in the belly room is.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Bob Zamood up there, fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to that episode for further hilarity.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm moving on here to the Pantages. That's what the Pantages Theater. Got to get into some more theaters. This is Hollywood. The land of theaters and hotels apparently is Hollywood,
and dead hookers apparently.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. Are we getting into the Black Dahlia in this episode?
No. I mean, we might get to that at some point, but there's not really much paranormal linked to that. That's just that's for our our new podcast, the Fucked Up Story podcast,
or They Found Feces, in Her Stomach podcast,
amongst other things.
Yeah. Whee! Yep. All right, so the Pantages Theater.
That's not even the worst thing, man.
Yeah.
They fed her one of her nipples.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
God damn it, Hollywood.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, back to Hollywood Ghosts. Yay!
All right, so Pantages Theater. All right. The specter of a tall, thin man, said to be the ghost of movie magnate Howard Hughes, is thought to roam the hallways of the Pantages, one of Hollywood's crown jewel theaters in its golden age. Hughes purchased the Movie Palace in 1949, and it hosted the Academy Awards from 1950 to 1960. Fun fact, gang. All right, so the Pantages Theater was named after Alexander Pantages. It was purchased by Howard Hughes in 1949, and his apparition is said to still be there. According to the theater's legend, 1990 break-in by vandals spurred the hauntings on the second floor where Hughes had his office. People said they felt a presence, an unexplained breeze, or cold spots had seen a man's apparition near Hughes's office. The sound of desk drawers rattling and the smell of cigar and cigarette smoke have also been noticed. But the once wealthy Hughes has company. Another girl in the Pantages dates back to 1932. It's of a patron who died in a mezzanine during a performance in 1932. Her singing has been heard throughout the building. Hughes shares the theater with still another ghost. That is the ghost of Alexander Pantages himself. Yeah, man. I mean, these kind of ghosts, like Howard Hughes and like all these other people haunting these theaters is just it's any of these theaters and these like hotels, like they're having a party. It seems like these guys are having a party. Like,
well, I think there's something, we talked about this in previous episodes where it's like, all right, you have these places where like just that seem to hold this energy in, talk about schools, hospitals, prisons, and theaters are always up there because, and you can even include movie theaters, I would even think, because a lot of these have been converted into movie theaters, which were once, stage theaters. Where it's like you have all these people packed into a box, essentially just experiencing like emotions, night after night after night. Yeah. So, if there's I totally get the haunted like theater thing. It just fits. And
those, they were such events back then, man. Like you can imagine some people came from around the world to have a one-time only experience, as opposed to the locals and the people that were on the scene that were always there. So I definitely think like there's like this residual party going on all over the place,
that's something that actually, does come up sometimes. I know we're kind of just, joking around, but like they have those images sometimes in these hotels where like they'll go into a room and like a party's going on. Yeah. And then like they'll blink and it's gone. Yeah. It's like, dude, what are they doing?
Yeah, it's
Like,
so
are there afterlife parties? Can I go?
yeah. Well, if you're a Oingo Boingo fan, you know,
Yeah, but like, just imagine like ghost party every night.
that'd be sick. Like I'm hoping me and you one day are at a ghost party in the
Yeah.
afterlife.
And just imagine all the great people that are there.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe.
Well, she's master of ceremonies. I
Yeah.
mean,
Welcome
along
to
with
the
Rudolph
ghost party.
Valentino.
Yeah, Rudolph Valentino, Marilyn Monroe hosting yet another ghost party night
Yeah,
after
like,
night.
oh, Marilyn's hosting, huh?
Yeah. Just once, I wish we could get James Dean in here.
Well, he's busy. He's just perpetually racing his car around.
Yeah.
I think we'll
Speaking
get
of
to that
which,
in a few.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, we will.
Right. Well, good call on that one. But next up, I've got a little bit of a. I mean, it works, but it's the Santa Monica Pier. It's a little outside, but well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Built in 1876, this municipal pier in Santa Monica is one of LA's oldest and most famous attractions. For years, rumors have circulated about a dark, shadowy figure wandering on the roof at night or riding the carousel horses. Shadow people on carousels? That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
It's one of the city's most notable ghost legends, yet very little is known about it. There's a big building out there called the Hippodrome, and inside of it is one of the best preserved all-wood carousels in the country. And it has this giant, what's called a Wurlitzer brand organ provided like that old school like calliope music. It opened to brisk business Saturday, June 10th, 1916. Years later, the original carousel was replaced and the offices were converted into apartments. During the 60s, it attracted all kinds of bohemians, writers, musicians, beachcombers, hippies, and a faction of who would be like influential artists in like the LA art scene. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
They had these notorious 2 and 3 day parties, often spilled out onto the roof, and attracted artists like Robert Rauschenberg and a gentleman named David Pan, who did pier maintenance supervisor for like 20 years, remembers there were details of ghostly sounds heard after the parties were over, told to him by former tenants. Like he said, late at night when everything was quiet, the tenants heard someone walking down the hallway, but when they got up to look, no one was there. Residents also heard the calliope music from the carousel, but this organ it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But they're still hearing that, like, in the
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like, ugh, it's not there, but they're hearing the music play.
That's
Again,
awesome.
they'd run downstairs, but find no one. They had no clues as to who their ghostly visitor might be, but this was not an isolated incident. It happened many times. The apartments were destroyed by fire in 1975, but were restored as offices in the early 80s when the pier was put on the National Register of Historic Places. And you guessed it, Marilyn Monroe has been sighted inside the Hippodrome because she was one of the many people who visited it during its heyday. So I just thought that one was kind of cool. I mean, it's sort of a Hollywood one, but it's like a lot of Hollywood people did visit there.
Yeah.
And the ghostly like circus music.
Yeah, I was gonna say ghost music. We don't do enough ghost music, you know, on this podcast because
true.
man, like those Wurlitzer, they have such distinct
Yes.
tone to them. Like even
Yes.
today, like if you're getting you know, there's settings on keyboards. It's like a Wurlitzer, you know, like
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
you know the sound, and it's
Yes.
if you're just hearing it and it's not there, that's you know that's
Maybe if we find a clip, we could drop it right here. There it is. Is it
Yep.
coming through?
I'm coming through.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
man.
Pete.
Big Pete. But yeah, going into I guess my next before my final one. Little segue there from my last story. It's the haunting of James Dean's Little Bastard.
Oh yeah.
Now, yeah, this is anyone, the initiated know what we're talking about here.
Mhm.
But yeah, so let's get into it. So James Dean's career as an actor and a racer was cut tragically short September 30th, 1955, when his Little Bastard Porsche 550 Spider was involved in a catastrophic collision on his way to a race meeting. Dean was killed instantly, but Little Bastard would go on to cause considerably more trouble. In fact, Little Bastard had caused upset almost from the moment Dean bought it. A week before the fatal crash, Dean met British actor Alec Guinness in Los Angeles. Guinness had an ominous feeling on seeing the Porsche and would later write in his diary, "The sports car looked sinister to me. Exhausted, hungry, feeling a little ill-tempered in spite of Dean's kindness, I heard myself saying in a voice I could hardly recognize as my own, 'Please never get in it. If you get in that car, you'll be found dead in it by this time next week.' Dean laughed it off and set about preparing the car for the Salinas sports car races with his Porsche mechanic Rolf Wulterich. Enlisting stuntman Bill Hickman to help out, the original plan was to tow Little Bastard to the races, but Wulterich felt it would be better for Dean to get used to the Spider and run the engine in. On that fatal Friday, Wulterich sat next to Dean while Hickman followed in his truck in the trailer. Police pulled over the convoy and issued a pair of speeding tickets just outside Bakersfield. It didn't slow Dean down one bit. Dean was barreling down Route 466 at an estimated 85 miles per hour when a young Cal Poly student named Donald Turnipseed.
That's his last name.
Turnipseed.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
sorry.
the story well.
Yeah, Donald Turnipseed. Wow. Driving a Ford Tudor, decided to make a sudden turn on Route 41. The impact sent the Ford almost 40 feet down the road and ejected Wulterich from the Porsche. Dean was pronounced dead on arrival at Paso Robles War Memorial Hospital at 6:20 p.m. Despite being declared a total loss by insurance company, the car was sold and would continue to cause carnage wherever it or even parts of it went. Dr. William Istrick bought the Porsche from a salvage yard in Burbank and proceeded to strip it for parts. Istrick installed the Porsche engine into a Lotus, IX race car, then loaned the transmission and suspension parts to a fellow doctor and racer, Troy McHenry. Esrich crashed the Lotus in the 1956 Panama sports car races, surviving, but McHenry wasn't as lucky. He hit a tree and was killed in the same race. And so the curse of Little Bastard gained strength. His Porsche carried on shortly after the crash. Shortly after the crash, publicity monger and self-proclaimed king of customs George Barris bought the Spider, promising to rebuild it. When the mangled frame was found and beyond recovery, Barris chose to capitalize on the car's notoriety. The Porsche was loaned to a Los Angeles chapter of the National Safety Council and that was formed in 1957 to 1959 and went on a gruesome tour of car shows, movie theaters, and bowling alleys. In March of 1959, while in storage in Fresno, the car mysteriously caught fire. It suffered remarkably little damage, 2 melted tires and some singed paint. And fortunately, the fire didn't spread to other vehicles in storage. Meanwhile, Barris had sold the pair of tires from the 550, and both reportedly blew at the same time, causing the new owner to careen off the road. There are other unconfirmed stories of Little Bastard's post-accident life. The car is said to have fallen into its display while on a show in Sacramento, breaking the hip of a bystander. The Spider.
God damn it!
Yeah, dude, this car is out for blood, bro. The Spider also reportedly fell and killed George Barkas, the driver who transported it to a road safety expo. Finally, the Porsche is rumored to have disappeared from a sealed boxcar in 1960 while en route to Miami from Los Angeles. Some believe that Barris, ever the showman, fabricated that story on the way of keeping the car's mystique alive. Despite a $1 million reward for information being offered in 2005, Little Bastard's whereabouts remain unknown. With Barris himself now gone and no sign of the car for 60 years, the end of Little Bastard's haunting story may never be revealed.
All right, so a couple things for this story. Number one, Little Bastard is under your bed right now.
Oh, no.
Not you, Ken, the person listening to this right now. It's under your bed. All right, so from the top, Obi-Wan Kenobi told him not to get in the car.
Yeah.
Why didn't he listen?
Dude, because he was dumb. That's it.
Do you think he walked over to the car and was like, "Well, hello there," and then like looked at the car and he's like, "Oh, I got a bad feeling. I've got a bad feeling about this."
The car was like General Kenobi.
exactly. So uncivilized. Yeah, and it just high ground, something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something dark side.
I hate you.
The car said that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Nerds, just nerds.
Now, also, what's funny about I don't know if it's funny, but Dean getting killed, the guy Turnip Seed, which is his last name, this fucking guy was not paying attention. And just decided he's that guy who's going along, and this fucking guy just decides to make a left turn into oncoming traffic, and that's what killed him. Yep. This guy didn't get a fucking scratch on him, and his car was fucked up. So apparently he had to walk like 10 miles home by himself after having just killed James Dean. Fucking asshole.
He was probably like justifying it too on the way home. Like, you didn't even do anything, man.
Like, man, I'm obeying the traffic laws. He was going well over the speed limit, and so
I could left turn if I want. I can make a left turn.
Yeah, I guess. And then also, just a little historical or just kind of Hollywood tidbit here. George Barris, do you know who that is? He designed the Batmobile from the 60s TV show. Yep, also designed the Munsters coach and Grandpa's Dragula car. So
nice. Can't wait for that movie, huh?
Oh, the movie with Sherry Moon Zombie playing all of the roles,
playing everyone.
Fuck Rob Zombie.
But I was also thinking,
if you have hope for that movie,
he's gonna cast Herman Monster as the guy who played fucking Michael Myers. If Sid Haig was alive, he would be, Grandpa Munster. Like,
yeah. I mean, his wife will be in it. It's just I just have to know how many roles she'll be playing, or trying to play with that dumb laugh that she does.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't even. You just got to go back through his movies and you'll figure out who the whole cast is. Danny Trejo will be in there somewhere.
Yeah, he'll probably play Grandpa
Danny
Munster.
Trejo will be Eddie Munster. Exactly. I'm kind of a my God.
Yeah.
Bow your heads, dog.
Yeah. Lowly dog, bow your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
ridiculous.
That movie kicks ass, but
it really does. Yeah. But no, that's one of my favorites, and it's just one of those ones. It's like, an evil car. I'm into it.
Yeah, I think I found out about that the little bastard story in the JK Cinema, one of their old ones.
Yeah?
I think that was the first time, and I was like,
JK Cinema, good shit.
I was like, what?
Yep.
What did this car do?
That one was fucked up, and then the one where they said about it was the girl on the album cover from was it Parliament Funkadelic? No,
it was something that City Rollers. Roller coaster.
Yeah.
Of love. Yeah, that one where apparently she stormed in the studio, and I think I looked into that, and that story isn't true, but that's the rumor around it. Yeah.
Because they said that the sound was the sound of her like shrieking.
Yeah, as the manager killed her.
Yes, that was the Ohio Players. And the girl on the cover is the Honey cover, and it's not real honey. Apparently, it burned her very badly. Apparently, that part is true, but her shrieking makes no sense. Why would they be taking the picture while recording the song?
Yeah, the one story is too is that she broke into the studio while they were recording the song.
Yes,
and the manager, in a fit of rage, was like, "You're dead," and like killed her. And like they were like, "Oh, we'll leave this in as a morbid tribute," but. Recording studios, you're not going to hear a scream, because like even those ones back in the day were so soundproof that
it's a fucked up story, but this is like dawn of the internet, and it was
Yeah.
like, is that true? And then we were like shopping somewhere, and the song came on. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I know about the song. And like you're like telling people, and once again you turn into Charlie Day. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, her skin came off, and I think one of the munchkins hung himself. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, and then there's a ghost and 3 men and a little girl.
Oh
and
yeah, three men and a baby.
Yeah, and it's Ted
Yeah, that
Danson.
one went around. Yeah, it's just a cutout.
Yeah, of Ted Danson.
Fucking ridiculous. I love it though.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Keep it up. Keep these stories up.
JK Cinema, where like, god damn.
Yeah, those were good, man.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, look that up. They're all on YouTube. JK Cinema. There's like ghosts, there's urban legends, and then there's like the alien report or whatever. And
There's
they're all
something.
fun.
Yeah, they're all a good time.
I mean, they're 99% horse shit, but they're still fun.
Yeah, the one this actually fits in the Hollywood one. The lion from what is it? Is
Yeah.
it MGM?
Yep.
Yeah, apparently that picture, that roar, after it did that roar, it jumped off the pedestal it was sitting on, then mauled and killed the photographer. It's like,
It was something like that. Yeah, it was something like that. I hope it's true. I mean, I want to believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stories. Good stories.
All right. Well, next up, I have the another famous Hollywood hotel. It's the good old Chateau Marmont, known as Hollywood's most notorious hotel. This is one of the a little more modern, more of the modern ghosts can be found here. It's the All-Star Hotel located above the Sunset Strip. That's where it's said that the afterlife party never ends. Like I said, with the spirits of former guests such as John Belushi, Jim Morrison, and Led Zeppelin drummer John Bonham still hanging around. Converted to a hotel in the 1930s, Chateau Marmont, the exclusive and elegant hotel off the Sunset Strip, has become a hideaway for celebrities. For some, including Britney Spears and Jim Morrison, it has been the setting for meltdowns, affairs, and drunken shenanigans.
Yeah. All the good stuff.
Oh yeah. It's actually in preparation for this, I watched like an 1.5-hour documentary on this place. Look, dude, everybody, like all the cool guys hung out this, and they still do hang out this place. Johnny Depp hung out here a lot.
Yeah.
Our boy Keanu hung out here quite a bit. Damn, who was Mickey Rourke was on there, but he's silly.
He is silly, isn't he?
He I mean, objectively, yes, he's very silly. But famously, John Belushi liked to party here so much it would make sense he'd stop by in the afterlife. People say bungalow number 3, where he fatally overdosed in 1982, is the site of strange occurrences. The most disturbing story involves a toddler whose family stayed there for a stint in 1999. His parents would hear him laughing alone. They got up to nerve to ask him why, and he responded, what are you laughing at? And he responded, the funny man. And when his mother was leafing through a book of celebrity guests of the Chateau Marmont when they were leaving, the boy pointed to John Belushi's picture and said, "Oh, the funny man."
I just got chills.
Yeah. So he's been reported by a lot of people who have stayed there. Now we have ghost on top of ghost here. Anthony Bourdain, whenever he would stay in Los Angeles, would stay at the Chateau Marmont, and he would get bungalow number 3 and would stay there every time, just because he wanted to try to commune with the spirit of John Belushi. But
R.I.P. Bourdain. R.I.P.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But it always, that place attracted that type.
Yeah.
Which I'd fucking stay there. That'd be the place I'd stay. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And if you ever see pictures of this place, it kind of looks like the Tower of Terror at Disney World. Like it kind of has that look to it. It's got that old, like that old, awesome, like swanky, like golden age of Hollywood kind of like secreted away behind like these like ivied walls, and like it's there, but it's like back off to the side, and it's just got this really, like, almost has like a Europe. I mean, there's the name Chateau Marmont, has a French name. Like it's almost has this European feel to it. And it's just like became this like hideaway. Like when actors were trying to like keep like a low profile, they'd go stay there for a couple months. So yeah,
man, dude, the funny man, like, man, those are the kind of like my wife, like, you know, when she said the first thing she saw when we were at my old bar, and she's like, you know, you have someone that dances in your hallway, you know, like,
Oh yeah, yep.
And then she saw the Hat Man, as we called him, who apparently is a thing across, you know, around the world.
Yeah.
And it's like those things, those monikers that like people give to like spirits is the spookiest shit that like, oh man, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The Funny Man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Funny Man, I mean, he could have showed up as a disgusting blob, like eating all the room service, and then they chased him and he disappeared through the wall. If you don't know what we're talking about, Slimer from Ghostbusters was basically supposed to be the ghost of John Belushi.
Yep. Yep. Which brings us to my next story. This is called the Ghostbusters house, as it's known.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's also known as the house on Woodrow Wilson Drive.
Mm-hmm.
The former home of actor Dan Aykroyd on Woodrow Wilson Drive. Oh, he's just like our hero, you know?
Right.
Just a guy that we love immensely and would love to get him on this podcast. But yeah, so the former home of Dan Aykroyd, it was on Woodrow Wilson Drive, and it's also been home to teenage Natalie Wood, singer Mama Cass Elliott from Mama and the Papas, and former Beatle Ringo Starr. The house was not especially known for disturbances until the former Saturday Night Live star moved into in the early 1980s. It didn't take Aykroyd long to conclude that the house was haunted. Something was turning on his Stairmaster, playing the piano and slamming doors. Aykroyd says one night he even felt someone or something crawl into bed with him, and it wasn't his wife, actress Donna Dixon. He chalked it up to ghosts and believed that at least one of them was the spirit of the home's former occupant, Elliot. He was a folk pop group named Mamas and the Papas, who died of heart failure in 1974 at the age of 32. Instead of being unsettled by the paranormal activity, Aykroyd, who later moved out and sold the house, was inspired by it. The supernatural vibes gave him the idea to co-write with Harold Ramis the 1984 movie comedy The Ghostbusters. And, you know, we if you're a listener, you know we throw out the you know, all the stuff. any chance we get, we're talking about the Ghostbusters. We're quoting lines from it, and
we both have problems.
Yeah.
We both have problems. I have Ghostbusters cereal sitting next to me on the desk, so it's a sickness. That new movie. God. What are we even talking about? I got the Ghostbusters cereal, and I have the fucking Ghost Popper right here.
Yeah.
So
you always have the Ghost Popper on hand.
Listen, I need it because listen, sometimes, and I'm going to shout out to my wife. Sometimes Christina comes up here when we're recording, and I just need to just pop one out there. And she's like, "I'm not done recording," so she gets popped with the Ghost Popper.
Yeah,
you know.
Hey man, you got to lay the law down.
Love you, Christina.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, there's plenty of, I know they like to point to that house as like, oh, it's the inspiration, whole cloth for Ghostbusters, but there's way more stuff put into Ghostbusters than just that house. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Dan Aykroyd is his family, the history in his family goes all the way back to the spiritualist movement. And
we're actually going to do a Ghostbusters episode because there's so much stuff, like historical stuff that went into like the history of his family that, don't worry folks, that's coming. That'll probably, I think that'll probably line up with the release of a new motion picture this November.
I can't wait, man.
Dude, don't even. It's like it's like waiting for your man to come home from war or something. Yeah. I'm waiting for that fucking movie. Tie a yellow ribbon around the tree or some shit. I don't know.
You're like, you know, the lady in white waiting at the
waiting at the shore.
Yeah, for her man to come back.
Trying to see the mast of his ship coming over the horizon.
That never came, so you jumped.
Right.
You jumped.
Yes, we're still talking about Ghostbusters. I told you we had fucking problems.
Anywho.
So good pull though.
Thank you.
So my next pick, my last pick, is the good old Knickerbocker Hotel. Around since the 1920s, began its life as an apartment building, but it wasn't until it became a hotel that it became popular with the Hollywood set. Producer Louis B. Mayer, inventor, aviator, filmmaker Howard Hughes, actress Betty Grable, and singer-songwriter Johnny Mercer were all guests at one time or another during its heyday. Marilyn Monroe, of course, And Joe DiMaggio supposedly came to the hotel's Lido room bar for clandestine dates, and then in 1954 spent their spent their honeymoon there. It's alleged that Monroe stuck around post-mortem and haunts the ladies' room.
Okay.
The bar is haunted by Rudolph Valentino. A maintenance worker told the Hollywood Reporter last year that a woman who threw herself off the roof also continues to haunt the Knickerbocker, which has now been converted to senior apartments. Many have seen her. When I work in the basement, shadows go by and doors close and open by themselves. He might have been referring to dress designer to the stars Irene Gibbons, who threw herself off the 11th floor of the building in 1962, according to a Los Angeles Times report from November of that year. Basically, everybody haunts this hotel, which is no longer in operation. But the most famous, even more than Maryland, we think, because of the spookiness, is they say Harry Houdini haunts this place. His wife, Bess, who she tried for a decade to have contact with him via an annual seance on the roof. They did it for 10 years. They did it at the Knickerbocker, but he never showed up.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
He never showed up, and I think that was the whole point of it, because he was a debunker and he was fucking awesome. I think he punched a lot of people too, and then he got punched.
And that killed him.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's one of another one of those old timey, really a lot of stars came through that hotel, and it's just like all those people coming through having parties, tragedies, births, deaths. All sorts of romantic liaisons.
Yeah. Well, the thing is though, like they're so dramatic. They're always jumping off stuff in Hollywood back in the day. Like that was a bit even
Hollywood. They're always jumping off of stuff.
Yeah, they do. They like that's so dramatic. Jumping off the H of the Hollywood sign.
Like, do you think they go faint? They don't even jump. They just go faint with their head on their and then just fall off. Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell, man? And then like
sweet oblivion, open your arms.
But even in our Comedy Store episode, there was a jump off a hotel.
That fucking dude probably got a running start though. There's no fainting from that dude.
He
that
was
dude
trying
was
to
pissed.
hit. He was trying to hit the Comedy Store, man.
Yeah.
Man, rough stuff.
Different energy on that one.
Yeah.
That guy hit different. No pun intended.
Oh. Yikes. Yeah. Whew. A lot of juice, man. A lot of juice.
Yeah.
But Hollywood is one of those weird, like I haven't been, but I imagine there's like a veil you walk through,
Yeah, me either. I haven't. We're trying to plan a trip. We actually were going to go sooner, but fucking COVID. Now that it's starting to be over, we're definitely looking to take a trip there because there's so many places I want to go to, and like I mentioned above, the Chateau Marmont, that's where I want to stay, and like there's so many places I want to go, and the place itself has been described by actors, musicians, and artists as like this sacred place. Like it has this like creative energy, but like creative energy is. It can be dangerous. Like if you can't harness it properly, it can destroy you. Like, and that's like this. I listened to a bunch of interviews with all these, successful stars that were like, yeah, it's got, the town has an energy to it, but it's like, it can quickly, it's like a fish, quickly just, you're trying to grab it and it's just,
Yep.
So it's definitely got some kind of spooky vibe to it, man. It's, situated in this weird place that has no water supply. Everything's got to be brought in artificially. It's kind of in this weird little spot,
Would you say it gives you chills?
It gives me chills, but not fucking YouTuber chills.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we did we want to get into a little bit about this guy, his new style, his new format he's got going
on? I guess I came to Hollywood and all I got was this slit throat. Like I don't. His new conversational style where he tries to sound like fucking human and not like an android.
Yeah, he like tries to analyze the videos now as opposed to like just like commenting on them, where he's just like.
But it's funny because he actually sounds more artificial now.
Yeah, he totally
like,
does.
What's going on in this video. Like, if
Oh,
you look in
man.
the background, there's something going on. If you folks could tell me what it
Yeah.
says.
He does like these two guys, they should have just turned around. They shouldn't have
Yeah.
talked to it. It's really, he's a nice guy. You can tell because he
I'm
asked
losing
the man.
followers. That's why I'm changing it up.
That fuck. That rat fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could probably expect another rap video before too long.
Yeah.
Because he's drowning. And all his videos, I don't know if you noticed, man. I know this only probably matters to me and Ken, but I hope you guys are entertained at least. But I don't know if you noticed, but his videos are getting more, like, they're getting longer. Number one, which is weird. They're getting less credible because they're videos from like fucking years ago.
Yeah.
And the videos, like, there's not one single like good pull from his videos anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he was annoying, but like every once in a while there'd be one on like, oh shit, look at that. And then it's like, all right, then you click on the real content creator who uploaded it, and then you check it out. But like now it's just all like, what's this smudge on the fucking camera? I hope it's not an evil ghost. And it's like moth.
Yeah. Smudge on the windshield. Camera's moving. Yeah.
Or those he uploaded remember those they're like those walkers that like those like it's obviously like they recreated it. It's like it's a clothesline, and it's like there's someone's moving here. It's very like old-timey like movie
marionette
tricks.
puppet.
Yeah, exactly. And like he had those up there. If anyone knows what these are, comment below and tell me to kill myself. Like
let me know in the comments if you know what these are.
Smash that like button.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I love to hate him, but I hope he stops.
Yeah, true.
But he won't.
True. So Haunted Hollywood, man.
Haunted Hollywood, man.
Of course, OD canon. Of course, it's canon.
ODP canon, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one of those places, man. It's got that spooky juice, man. It's there's so many what do they call it, the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, man. So many people come in there and like made it, but it, how many
did it eat
billions
a lot,
more showed up and just lost their shit, lost their money
to the pressure and the wow, man.
Died in that city or just left, but like it's it's a hard place, man.
The City of Angels, man, because it made more than any other city in the world, man. Whew.
Something like that.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough, and there's a lot of other places that we didn't get to. Like the Viper Room and stuff. Our boy Zach went in.
But I think that had more of like, I think for this one we just kind of wanted to maintain like a classic kind of Hollywood vibe to it, because that kind of stuff has that, like, I don't know,
gravity.
Gravity, and it has like almost like that, like almost like fairy tale kind of quality to it. Because like it's that early era of film, and just like the golden era of film, like we were talking about James Dean, Marilyn Monroe.
It's like the new lore, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like that new modern lore. It's not like
it's recent enough where you can still kind of, they're still knowable, but it's a little bit out of reach, so they're still kind of like fairy tale-ish. You know what I mean? It's like they exist in like, you can see where they lived, but like it's still somewhat far removed from how we still, how things are today. So
some of the last magic there with that lifestyle, that era, and just it's it was the start of almost like our modern way of just doing everything. Everything is like modeled after Hollywood now.
It's true, and before all the heroin and meth filtered in. Rest in peace, Elisa Lam. That video, anyway.
See, but even with that story, like even that documentary they made, it's like, bro, it didn't need to be that many episodes or whatever it was. It was like, just tell it.
Though you talk about the Netflix one?
Yeah,
that one was what's the word I'm looking for? Terrible.
Yeah, it was awful.
Fucking awful. Talking to people that's like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. It's like, there's a homelessness situation. It's like, all right, well, what happened with her? Like, and then they go into that death rock guy that's like, I wanted to commit suicide.
I mean, legitimately, that guy got fucked up. It's like, it's sad for you, buddy, but you didn't end up floating in a water tank. So let's not talk to you.
Yeah. And then they could have just, like, I know they were trying to make it entertaining, but it's like, you could have just went to the facts right away. I didn't need to waste 5 hours to just find out stuff they already pretty much knew from internet sleuthing back in the day,
Internet sleuthing.
They were like, you guys are ruining people's lives for doing research. What are you going to do?
Exactly. What are you going to do? All right, man. Well, got some closing statements on this or what?
Yeah. Perfect spooky wedding cake toppers.
Okay.
Ghost Rudolph Valentino, Ghost Marilyn Monroe. Someone do it.
That's actually pretty good. I like that.
Yep.
My closing statements are the funny man. Oof.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Creepy.
it's very creepy. Very, very creepy.
Mm-hmm. And somewhat sus.
Hey, man. All this stuff is a little sus,
It's true. That's why we love it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man.
Well, I guess that's going to put the book ends on this one. So for Other Dangers Podcast, I'm Ken James.
And I'm Jason McKittrick.
And as always, have a spooky evening.
Spooky.
Thank you for listening to Other Dangers Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangers Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.